Welcome to this week's episode of Emerge. I'm your host, Tiffany Boyle, and this week we will be discussing with Dorothea how to make a divine decision and hear Deshana's 2 cents about finances. Last show, we celebrated National DJ Month with 2 world-renowned DJs. It was amazing. They gave us so much information and just blessed us last Wednesday. Today, we are celebrating National African American Music Month. We are also prepping for Juneteenth, which is June 19th, 2022 this year. Today, we speak with Team Lamb, which is a Big Brother organization who focuses on mentorship, clothing, and community elevation. After we talk to the owners of Poolside Cooking, one of the fastest growing cooking community shows that emerged during the pandemic. But before we get into those topics, join me, Tiffany Boyle, in the CEO Corner. So today, guys, in the CEO Corner, I decided we're going to do something a little different. I want to take a break from the norm, giving you all these tips, making you write down stuff. And I just want to talk about celebrating us, celebrating people. And not only celebrating people, but to know it's okay to appreciate people that may not be like you, or look like you, or talk like you, or eat the same food as you. It is okay. June is African American Music Month. It also hosts the Juneteenth holiday. And I want everyone to know that it is okay to celebrate these events even if you are not African American. Why? Because it's beautiful to celebrate each other, to celebrate others. Celebrating African American music does not take away from country music. It doesn't take away from Bollywood music. This is not a competition, people. Hear me when I tell you, it is not a competition. It's a celebration. June is African American Music Appreciation Month. It was created by President Jimmy Carter in 1979. This month celebrates the African American musical influences that comprise an essential part of our nation's treasured cultural heritage. There's so many facets to African American music. There is sacred music, which includes spirituals and gospel music. So join me, y'all. Wade in the water. That was too funny. There is folk music, the blues, military music, jazz, which was my grandfather's favorite genre of music. My personal favorite is rhythm and blues. Yes. Rock and roll. And of course, the music that is taking over the world, hip hop and rap, which is my daughter and her friends' favorite genre of music. So tune in on your Pandora, your Spotify, Apple Music, or Tidal, and listen and enjoy some amazing music during the month of June, African American Music Appreciation Month. During the month of June, all Americans should also celebrate Juneteenth. Juneteenth is a federal holiday in the United States commemorating the emancipation of enslaved African Americans. It is also often observed for celebrating African American culture. Originating in Galveston, Texas, it has been celebrated annually on June 19th in various parts of the United States since 1865. And for more information, I would just suggest Googling why is Juneteenth so important and just start reading. So, I guess my tip for you today would be to embrace other cultures, people, and be diverse, people. Mix it up. And I'm Tiffany Boyle, and that's my tip from the CEO Corner. Now, coming up, we will be speaking with some amazing, truly amazing young men from Team Lamb. Team Lamb was founded in 2011 after the sad incident of the death of their close friend, Kadaro Little Lamb Simpkins. He was a professional boxer from the Hampton Roads area who was shot and killed down in the ocean front in a street fight protecting his friends. They used this tragic situation to stimulate positive change in our communities. They are a Big Brother organization who focuses on mentorship, clothing, and community elevation. Team LAM is an acronym for Tell Everyone Around Me, Love All My Brothers. So let us help them spread their message. We get to learn more about Team LAM. I'm Tiffany Boyle. You are listening to Emerge here on WHOV 88.1. Hi, everybody. Hey, Israel, Q, and Ed. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We're so excited. And we know Juneteenth is right around the corner. So can you just start off with telling, our listeners a little bit about yourselves?
Okay. Team LAM is an acronym for Tell Everyone Around Me, Love All My Brothers. We were founded in 2011 in memory of our friend, Kadero Little Lamb Simpkins. He was a professional boxer in the Virginia Beach area who did die due to gun violence at Virginia Beach oceanfront. Since then, we took his nickname Little Lamb and created this brand in memory of him. But it's grown to be so much more. We do events, we do mentorship in the community, and we also have a clothing line as well.
So, I am sorry to hear about your friend, but appreciate that you guys, took that tragedy and used it to help others so that others don't have to go through the same thing that you guys, experienced, and that sadness and sorrow of losing a close friend or family member. So that was Ed. So in the future, just let us know who we're talking to because it is radio, so no one can see you.
Okay.
So, all right, Israel, your turn.
Yeah. So what I do is part-time merchant seaman, a full-time entrepreneur. We've been doing Team LAM for about 10 years now, working throughout inner city communities, doing give backs, working with a shelter in Portsmouth to feed city of Portsmouth Thanksgiving dinners every year. And that's just been a testimony of how our brand has been established to set the example of being more than just a brand, but actually being connected to our community. So like Ed said, Team LAM stands for Tell Everyone Around Me, Love All My Brothers, and we exemplify that through our just being present, being active in our community.
Awesome. So do you give love to the sisters too?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
We want to make sure we were
saying that. So we're actually doing a nonprofit that's coming up really soon, and that'll be Love All My Brothers and Sisters.
Nice. Like it. Lambs. Love it. All right, Q.
Hey, how you doing? So my name is Q, and it actually stands for Creative Utilitarian Esoteric. I am a full-time photographer, marketing. I do marketing as well and graphic design. I've been doing, marketing for about 10 years now. I started a local clothing brand that's based out of Richmond now called Rotate, and it's still doing well. And yeah, I've been an entrepreneur. I've been on this ground for roughly 10 years now. I just had to switch. I switched lanes from the retail side into the photography just because I loved marketing so much, and I was gifted my first camera. And then I fell in love with photography. So I was like, why not add it to the repertoire of things that I do? So that's my main role with Team LAM is the photography, and I help with putting together some of the marketing campaigns and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm just happy to be here. Like everything that I stand for, these guys are already exemplifying it. It's just a mesh up. It's the phrase divine timing has been something that has been pushed out there over the last week. And it really is that time. I feel like this year is really that year of the creatives, and we just have to settle in so we can cultivate the community in the direction that we want to for the future, our generations to come and whatnot. That's what it's really about, the emerging things that come.
Y'all sound like quite the dream team. Y'all have so much talent. Y'all don't have to outsource for anything. That is awesome.
Well, shout out to our brother Micah. He's not here now. That's the fourth member in Jazz. That's our Micah is our creative director, and Jazz is our media website, also assistant. So she does a lot.
Nice.
So you all said you've been around for about 10 years. You said you put on some events. So talk to us about some of the events that y'all put on. I know you said that y'all feed, do the Thanksgiving dinners in Portsmouth, but what other activities and events do y'all do?
So recently we collaborated with Good Society to do the concrete canvas, which was an artist showcase mixed with a pop-up. So it was an interactive pop-up and artist showcase. That event was really dope. We celebrated Black History Month that way. And we do a lot of stuff with the city as well. Our upcoming event is Juneteenth Fest at the beach. And it's going to be June 18th and 19th at 24th Street Park, right there on the boardwalk. And it's all day long, both days. It's going to be fun-filled with a lot of music, entertainment, history, and family-filled fun.
And just to piggyback off what Ed said, this is Israel again. We've actually done a lot of festivals in the past. We've worked with the 420th Festival for its first year. We've done the inaugural of Something in the Water. We worked as staff. And also we've done Fuse Fest in Norfolk. So our very first Juneteenth Fest was last year at Kabila Cafe off Northampton Boulevard. So we've done a lot of events, and it's been gearing us towards this next level of doing our own festival.
Right. And so the Juneteenth Festival, which is coming up, tell us the date again.
June 18th
and 19th.
And 19th. So what all does that entail? What can the people get when they come out to Virginia Beach?
Unity in the community. That's the Juneteenth Fest. The Juneteenth Fest is I would say the initiation to unity in the community for the Hampton Roads, just because of the magnitude and what the history behind it is. We don't want people to feel like they're not invited or not. It's non-inclusive. So it's unity in the community for everybody. And who doesn't love to be at the beach, right? Who doesn't love good music? Who doesn't love good food? Who doesn't love a good t-shirt, a good hat, whatever, right? So come down, enjoy yourself, have fun, and really embody unity in the community for Juneteenth. That's what it's about. And this is an annual event. So, it's only going to get better from here. This is the first one, and we're going to be able to be interactive with the people that come and ask the questions so that we can put on a better event for next year as well,
Right. Awesome. So this is something y'all have planned to keep going with this festival.
Yes. We partner with the city of Virginia Beach, the Virginia African American Cultural Center, Vibe District, the Museum of Contemporary Art, Old Beach Farmers Market, and I think I'm missing someone else.
Mocha.
Well, yeah, that's Mocha. Those are all of our partners involved. So we all came together as a solidified group. They'll be doing from 17th Street to 24th Street. So from Vibe Park in Cypress and 17th up to 24th Street State Park, where we'll be at. They're doing a art walk along the boardwalk.
Very nice.
So
Black artists are painting murals down the boardwalk to exemplify African American culture for Juneteenth. So that'll be up way past Juneteenth as well.
Yeah, so that'll be going on all day, Saturday and Sunday, and then right at noon on Saturday and at 10 a.m. on Sunday is when we're going to be kicking off our planned programming. We're going to kick off Saturday with a welcome from the city officials and a proclamation and speeches. Following after that, Poolside Cooking. We'll be doing a live TV show with the Lieutenant Governor. Then our house band Ramonta will come in and liven up the crowd. And then right after that, we will be doing the return of Miss Tidewater, Black Beauty Pageant. And then following after will be the Emerge Showcase, which will be highlighting African American Music Month and showcasing the emerging artists in the 757.
We love the name. We love the name. Love Poolside Cooking. Shout out to them.
Shout out to Miss Jim. Shout out to Clarence and Don, the whole gang.
That's right. And love Ramonta. So that'll definitely, it sounds like a good lineup. And so, If you are a guest now tuning in, you're listening to Emerge. I'm Tiffany Boyle, along with co-host Deshana Kemp Garnett, and we are talking with Team Lamb, which includes Israel, Q, and Ed, and two others that cannot be with us today. And we are talking about their amazing festival coming up on Juneteenth, June 18th and 19th. It's just filled with so many events, and we're just learning a little bit more about them and what they're doing and trying to spread the word for unity in the community. So can we go back to 10 years ago when you guys first started getting together? How did this merge? I know the story behind Team Lamb, but when you guys were like, okay, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to do this. How did you actually
story? It's a funny story. After Cordero passed, we were a little scrambled because he was a professional boxer, and we all saw the light in the future that he had destined for him. And we didn't want to let his legacy go out like that. So we were just questioning ourselves, like, what can we do to keep his name or to keep that energy in our circle strong, show the brotherhood. So Micah, which is Ed's twin brother, he had a dream, and in his dream it said Lamb, and it said love all my brothers. So Micah came to us and said, how do y'all feel about starting a clothing line? We were like, yeah, that sounds dope. Because Mike and Ed were into fashion since they were in middle school. They've always been dope dressers and fly, swaggy kids. So it was just already written on them to do fashion. And me being, one of Cadero's best friends too, it just brought us even closer together and gave us a purpose behind our circle.
Nice. So all you guys went to school together?
Actually, we went to two separate schools. So Cadero was the glue that held us together. So my brother and I are alumni from Tallwood High School, and David is an alumni from Salem High School. So we all went to Brandon Middle, in which those two districts, Tallwood and Salem, went to school together. But when we went off to high school, Cadero started going to Salem, and that's how he met David. But Cadero always stayed in tune and tapped in with his Tallwood friends. And then, so we all would hang out collectively when Cadero was around. So once he passed away, he still, again, was the glue that held us together, because his Tallwood friends wanted to do something in memory of him, and his Salem friends wanted to do something in memory of him. So that's what informed Team Lamb.
Started off with like 50 members. Everybody was gung-ho at first until they realized how much work it was, and no shade to them, because we were the same way. Like, this is a lot of work, but it just took willpower for us to continue this grind for 10 years, and it went down to 3 members for a long time, and now we have 5. So
wow. Well, let's talk about that. Entrepreneurship is not easy. Yeah, just because you have a talent or you have some desire for something, when you start actually doing the business, it takes work. So let's talk about that part. What made you guys stick with it and grind through it? Like, was it just something already in you to be entrepreneurs, or is it something that grew?
Well, again, like what David was saying earlier, is my brother and I, we always had a passion for fashion. So us incorporating a brand or a clothing line in this, that was easy. But our reason why, all of us collectively, was Cadero. So when times got hard, we feel like giving up, and even just getting frustrated working with each other, we always kept in mind of our reason why. And your reason why is what's going to keep you going. And the reason why is Cadero still. So that has always been a driving factor and motivating factor. Whenever times get weary or times get tough, we just reminisce of our friends. So that's what keeps us going.
Can I share a story with y'all real quick, if y'all don't mind? It's not going to be long. So when I first knew that that Mike and Ed were solid, it was in high school. I went to Salem. Cadero went to Salem with me, and Cadero was one of those cocky kids that a lot of kids, either you hated or you loved Cadero. So a lot of kids at Salem didn't know Cadero like we did, and they had a disinterest in how he carried himself. So that made it weird for me, because I grew up with a lot of those guys at Salem. And so now that I'm, was hanging out with Cadero more, we had a lot of beef at school. So long story short, me and Cadero was getting into it with some of the guys at school. And we went to my house after school, got jumped by a couple of them on the way home.
Oh my God.
And once I got into my house, Cadero made a phone call, and I came outside, and it was like 50 people outside ready to go to war with us to protect us. And that's when I met Mike and Ed. And I was like, man, like, they really came out here to support me. I don't even know these guys, but now I know, like, they're my brothers. And we, starting off young, you a knucklehead, you get into trouble, but that was our early days. And we, since then, I have rebranded and recreated it through our energy and our image of having a brand that has a purpose. So we were crew, and now we are Team Lamb.
I love that story.
Yeah.
The fighting part, but
Let me put a disclaimer: we do not condone violence in any form.
Right.
It's just a lesson that I learned that. So my real brothers.
If you are just tuning in, we are Emerge. We are here with Team Lamb. I am your host, Deshana Kemp Garnett, along with Tiffany Boyle. And we have Israel, Q, and Ed. And it has been amazing listening to your story, hearing about your struggles, and learning all about your friend who really started you out on this journey. We hate to let you go, but our time together is coming to an end. So I have two questions. How do our listeners find out more information about your festival, your Juneteenth festival, and what is your contact information as far as social media if they wanted to follow you all?
Well, y'all can follow us at Team Lamb _Inc. That's the Instagram for the brand. Also, you can visit www.teamlamb.us. That's our webpage where you can purchase merchandise and read about our backstory. We're also located inside Bela Fusion in Virginia Beach. That's where our workshop's located, and we make all of our clothing and conduct business from there. And aside from that, Juneteenth, you can follow Juneteenth _ATB, which stands for Juneteenth at the Beach. And you can visit JuneteenthVB.com to register for the event, and also just check out the lineup and get more information. We are running a Father of the Year campaign, so please send your inquiries for that dad to admin at JuneteenthVB.com for that special father, because we want to recognize our fathers as well that weekend, being that Father's Day is that Sunday. And we got giveaways from Foot Locker, Heat Clothing, Haberdy's, some cash prizes, all types of good stuff. But again, JuneteenthVB.com, Juneteenth _ATB, and Team Lamb _Inc. are all of our platforms.
INC. Make sure y'all tap in with us. It was a pleasure being here with y'all. Y'all are amazing. Emerge. Shout out to Emerge Magazine. Shout out. Oh, you have one more question. Sorry. Okay.
I was going to say you ended the show for us. Wait a minute.
I just know y'all were pressed for time. We didn't want to have y'all over y'all time slot.
No, but we have to. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry, before we go, we have to ask each of you, what does the word emerge mean to you?
That's a great question. Emerge to me means...
Say your name first so we know.
Oh, this is Israel. Coming into your own. We emerge is a certain level of boiling up. You've been stewing for a while. You've been cooking for a while, and now it's that point where you're about ready to meet that next chapter, next level on your journey. So that's what it is for me.
My name's Ed, and emerge to me replaces the word local. That's why we wanted to use emerge for the showcase, because there's nothing wrong with being local, but we feel like it's a negative stigmatism that's associated with local, and people will hear local and be like, oh, I'm not going to support that, or I'm not going to go there, or I'm not going to give those artists a listen. But even back to Pharrell, Clips, Missy, their early days, they were once local artists in Virginia. From arts to fashion to music to culture, we've always been a melting pot for creativity. and what's next, and we lead the forefront in sound. So we just wanted to replace that word local with emergent, because we feel like all of these artists on the lineup are one hit away. They're just in their emergent stage right
now. Love it.
It's Q here. Emerge to me means to come out of, and I see it as the emerging attitude, the emerging thought process. You might be going through something, and this is the action to come out of that. This might be the momentum that you need. And that's what I see it as. I see it as the action of to come out of something. You're emerging.
Love it. Love it. Well, thank you so much. We look forward to being a part of the Juneteenth event and supporting you guys and getting the word out there. So thank you so much, Israel, Q, and Ed, for joining us and just sharing with us a little bit about your Team Lamb mission.
Thank you for having us, Tiffany. Thank you for having us, Tashana. It was a pleasure. Shout out to Emerge Magazine. We look forward to seeing y'all at the Juneteenth Festival at the beach.
I'm Tiffany Boyle. You are listening to Emerge here on WHOV 88.1. If you would like to partner with us and have your business spotlighted on the show, please contact us at emergethemagazine.com. We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will make divine decisions with Dorothea.
You have a mission. It's no collision. Hold the phone. Don't text. You're angling to be next. Brothers and sisters, you won't see it coming. You're off the road. Your life explodes. It's not worth it. Don't do it. You only think there's nothing to it. Put it down, hang up, pay attention to highway action. Behind the wheel, there is no such thing as a small distraction. Join the conversation at decidetodrive.org, a public service message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
Hi, I'm Gina Pemberton, president of the National Hampton Alumni Association. Our time is now. This is our moment to define what being a Hamptonian really means. At a time when the relevancy and impact of HBCUs is without question, it's absolutely critical that we all engage, work together, and give back to our home by the sea. Engaging as an alumnus means to join your local alumni chapter, mentor a current student, and donate regularly. Join your local alumni chapter now, logging on to NHAAINC.org. Keep Hampton's legacy strong for generations to come. Keeping you informed, we are Smooth 88.1 WHOV.
Welcome back. I'm Dorothea Schuler, and you're listening to Emerge Wednesdays on WHOV 88.1 iHeartRadio. And if you're just tuning in, Tiffany and Deshana spoke with Team Lamb about their upcoming Juneteenth Music Festival, being held June 18th and 19th. Team Lamb is providing the opportunity to display African American heritage and culture for all to enjoy. So if you're looking for an amazing Juneteenth experience and would like to find out more information about the festival or to listen to any of our previously recorded shows, you can do so by going to www.emergethemagazine.com. Okay, now it's time for you to join me as we emerge together into our greatest potential by making a divine decision with Dorothea. We all operate and proceed throughout the course of our lives based upon a series of decisions. A decision. It's a conclusion or resolution reached after consideration. And divine means excellence. So we're making an excellent decision. With that being said, let's make the divine decision today to forgive. Let me start in a sincere and real manner by saying, I know this is a sensitive subject, and some of you may be thinking, now here she go, that's a little bit personal. Of course it is. True forgiveness always is. And hey, I get it. I'm a very friendly person. I love meeting new people. And on the surface, I'm openly social. But at the same time, if you know me, I'm extremely private It matters as well as what I choose to share and with whom I choose to share it with. So I'm asking you to really open up your minds and hear me out. In the voice of Deshana, let me drop this jewel of love on you. So, forgiveness allows us to reject the burden and heaviness that weighs on our spirits and allows us to release those negative feelings from situations where we've been hurt, betrayed, or mistreated. Forgiveness gives us the freedom to love and not to allow our hearts to become hardened. It gives us authority over our lives and enables us to restore our peace by rejecting the pitfalls of bitterness. Now, with me saying all of this, I want to be very clear in the next few statements. Forgiveness does not have to include tolerance. Just because you forgive someone regarding a particular matter doesn't mean that you condone whatever happened that caused the offense. It doesn't mean you have to allow that relationship to continue or allow access or the opportunity for a matter to repeat itself. You don't have to continue to permit or tolerate completely unacceptable behavior. But you know what you can do? You know what we should do? What today's divine decision is all about? Forgive to allow the opportunity for healing. Forgive because it guides our steps and lays a foundation of positivity, one that we can grow on. I usually refer back to this when I'm having trouble forgiving someone. Bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. So I end with this. It's not just freedom that you'll possess when you forgive someone. You'll also possess the chance to display the grace that we've all been given. So join me today by emerging into our best lives and make the divine decision to forgive, knowing this decision will ultimately help to shape and create a path that reflects a light of excellence in our lives. You're listening to Emerge Wednesdays on WHOV 88.1 iHeartRadio, and this has been another divine decision with Dorothea. And you too can decide to be a part of our Emerge Wednesdays by submitting your response to our signature question. What does the word emerge mean to you? Share that with us on our IG at Emerge the Magazine. This week's response is from Kevin Stiff. What does the word emerge mean to Kevin? Something coming into focus. Awesome, Kevin. I like that. So basically, we should just all focus on emerging. And you can follow Kevin on IG at StiffK11. That's STIFFK11. Up next, Deshana and Tiffany will be speaking with Poolside Cooking, the #1 cooking and variety show on TV. Co-hosts Clarence Khalil Neely and Dawn George, also known as the dynamic duo, interview talented new chefs, exciting guests, and entertainers. Poolside Cooking has interviewed some of the biggest names in television, from celebrity designers to celebrity chefs. How interesting and exciting. I can't wait to hear all about it. And now, Tiffany and Deshana with Poolside Cooking.
Hello, you are listening to Emerge. I am your co-host, Deshana Kemp Garnett, along with co-host Tiffany Boyle, and we are here with Clarence and Jimalyn of Poolside Cooking. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
All right, so just go ahead. We'll start with Ms. Jimalyn and tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, I started my business back in 2011. I started off with We Care Medical Transport. I was transporting non-emergency medical transportation clients to and from doctor's appointments. And from there, I went from transporting clients to actually transporting food after a while. So I had a fleet of 15 vans by the end of the year when I first started. From there, I opened up multiple businesses. I opened my group home where we work with individuals with developmental disabilities. I started that in 2013. 2014, I opened my second group home. And then from there, I added supportive in-home services where we have a corporate office here in Virginia Beach and another office in Richmond. So we provide service in the Richmond area as well. From there, we opened up We Care Salon and Spa, which at the time I wanted to provide spa services to individuals with developmental disabilities. So that's where the salons came from. And then as we was in the salon, I noticed that a lot of the stylists was overbooking and trying to get food. Somebody in there was trying to sell food. So that's where We Care Salon Cafe came about. So I ended up opening up a cafe next door to the salon. And there we provide food, not only food services, but we provide it to other barbershops and hair salons. So we actually do free delivery to barbershops and hair salons as long as they're within the 5-mile radius of the cafe. From there, I opened up We Care Juice Bar, which we just did during the pandemic. We moved the juice bar to the Timberlake Shopping Center from the Laskin Road area. So we're going through some remodeling right now, but that should be open sometime in mid-June. And then Poolside Cooking came about during the pandemic. I brought some friends in. I had at that time, I had to close about 4 of my businesses. My group home and supportive in-home services was still running. So the first thing I thought about was, you know what, I'm home more. Let me go out here and enjoy my pool in my outdoor kitchen. And from there, I was like, you know what, let's kind of do something a little different because I wasn't working as much during the pandemic. Everything was closing. So that's when I kind of talked to a couple of friends, brought people in. The main thing was bringing different chefs on the show because I don't cook. But I figured out how to open. And brought different chefs. I couldn't be the chef. And we brought guests, which was basically the taste tester. So these were people that was actually doing things in the community, from business owners to politicians to nonprofit organizations. So the people that was doing things in the community, that was like our Pharrell. So these are the people that we can go to, talk to, inspire, motivate. So I wanted to bring those people on the show. A lot of them had different businesses that people didn't know about. So it was mainly trying to highlight people in the 757. So it was more than just a cooking show. It was a variety show. So we was able to bring different artists up there, different business owners, as well as different chefs. And then the last thing really what we added was Global Shopping Network, which was it's a shopping network in other words, it's the next Black QVC. Okay, so we want to highlight bringing a shopping network in the 757 that will actually air right here on Sky 4 and Roku. And since we had our own network, why not bring different businesses to come together to highlight their items, their merchandise, their apparel. I've seen a lot of people out here doing pop-up shops. And the first thing I thought about was, okay, it does well when you can go in there and have an event and you make your money for that day. But then what about tomorrow? So we wanted something more ongoing because after a while, people were just selling to their friends, to their family, and to the community. So we wanted to kind of broaden it and bring it worldwide. So when it aired on Roku, now they have more people actually watching and seeing their products on the show. And then it airs right here locally on Sky 4.
You know, I'm going to come back to you.
WGNT now. Oh, no, that's right. Global Shopping Network. You're right.
Well, no, it airs on Sky 4. WGNT now is on, it's Poolside Cooking is on WGNT.
Clarence, I don't even know how you are going to follow that.
I know, right?
We're gonna ask the listeners. Yeah. So the question for the listeners is like, what is the first thing Jemelyn started off with before she went to all the other businesses?
Right. That's awesome. I don't know where she gets the energy.
I love it.
I know.
Why we have multiple businesses because, you know, when you get to a point where you was your back was against the wall and you was broke, the one thing that you don't want to do is have to go back to being broke. So that's where the multiple business came back. It was building generational wealth. It was about letting people know that it can be done. So one of the things I do is I open businesses that's not in my field. Okay. So that allowed people to know that you don't necessarily have to be in this field to start or run a business. You know, everything's about delegating and kind of looking and running it. So that's how I was able to actually run multiple businesses.
Right. I love it. I hear adaptability, innovation, know, being in tune with your target audience. I love it. All right, Clarence, your go.
Yes. All right. Well, you got a couple hours. Well, no, I'm retired from the Department of Homeland Security, U.S. Coast Guard. I specialized in search and rescue and counter narcotics was my specialty. I retired in 1996 after serving 20 years. And then I went into business for myself. I did the same thing you guys are doing. I started a magazine called Black Tie Magazine. It was my first business venture ever. Right. I started that April 19th, 1996, the same day as the Oklahoma City bomb. And prior to that, I did an internship with the Terry Williams Agency in New York, just for a little bit to kind of learn about the whole publishing business, and got a little bit of consultation and mentorship from Susan Taylor. As a matter of fact, Susan Taylor told me, she said, one thing you never want to do is that's let reality get in the way of your dreams. And that stuck with me my whole entrepreneur tenure. And I've been in business now for over 25 years. From a magazine led to public relations, marketing, and promotion, where I dealt with a lot of promotions with different record labels. And we promoted, God knows, probably to this date, probably about 56 concerts and events. We were responsible for doing the Missy Elliott Music and Video Convention in Portsmouth, Virginia in 1998, where she received the key to the city. It was a great event, a 3-day event. It was kind of like a mini Something in the Water. So Something in the Water wasn't the first time something big ever came to the area, just for the record. And but we did it, we pulled it off, and it was a successful event. After that, we went on to the Hampton Roads Hip Hop and R&B Music Conference. The Hampton Roads R&B Music Award, Hip Hop and R&B Music Awards was at the Antilles Pavilion Harbor Center, which we had Clips, Maya, the Neptunes, which was Pharrell and Chad, all received awards, and the Clips performed. That was in 2001. And I just went on after that and just grew in the music business, in the entertainment business. We opened up an office in Atlanta. We were coordinating tours. We did some of the T.I. Road to Redemption tour in Orlando with Bailey Bash. We did Chris Brown, 2 sold-out shows at Willard Hall when Chris was only like 15 or 16 years old. And we did that with Z104, Shaggy. And the list goes on. I got hurt by the music industry. I was one of those guys that got caught up in the digital world. And as you know, a CD used to cost $13, but when the digital world came in, it went down to 99 cents. So the whole industry took a turn for the worse. The whole industry went south. Right. And I went south right along with it. But thank God, I had a background. I was retired, so I had something to pay some of the bills. So we decided to come back here because of my professional background in law enforcement. I opened up a security company, and I also opened up a water sports company because I was doing some maritime security, made a little money. We bought a boat. And we started renting out and do yacht services and little yacht parties. And that's how I met Gemma and Julie. By God's grace. She had a party, an all-white party for her employees on the boat. And it was just a wonderful day. And I tell you what, it was so wonderful that a storm broke out. A storm. Y'all hear me? But I'm going to tell you, Black people are so resilient because we had a ball that day.
Yeah, we're already on the boat. We're going to keep partying now.
Yeah, we kept partying in the storm. That just showed me right there the spirit this young lady, Gemma and Hewlett had. And from then on, after we got to know each other, I found out she had a restaurant. And I'm like, oh, my God, she owns a restaurant. Then the cafe next door. And before I knew it, my marketing company was still in existence. We just weren't doing too much music stuff. We were just doing kind of corporate stuff. And so I told my staff, I said, look, let's blow this restaurant up. That's why on my Facebook and on all the other Facebooks you heard nothing but We Care Cafe. We Care Cafe. That's where I eat my lunch, dinner. I eat my breakfast, lunch, and sometimes dinner there. Right. I have all my meetings there. And Gemlin, I was one of the friends she called up when the COVID hit, and she said she had this idea, and that idea was Poolside Cooking, and the rest was history. And you got to remember, my cousin had a cooking show on TV that got an Emmy Award, Pat Neely, for Cooking Down Home with the Neelys, Regina and Pat. So, but I still knew nothing about cooking shows, and I'm not a cook at all. I'm one of my wife drives me crazy talking about I need to learn how to cook. but I did. I cooked Mother's Day and did pretty good, and I actually cooked on the last episode. I actually did a little cooking on the last episode.
Okay.
So, and April Woodard at Coast Live, when we were on there, Jim and I were on there, we cooked a meal on there, and that kind of started me in really getting interested in cooking. So a year later, here we are with Poolside Cooking on WGNT here in the 757, Richmond, the CW, Atlanta, and worldwide on Roku, with over 3.9 million people that have added our channel, which is called Global Vision Network on Roku. So it took off. And by God's grace, we're here. We're still grinding it out. And we're having a lot of fun doing it. So I thank God for Gemlin. And, it's just been a blessing. It's been a blessing.
Great. Well, if you are just tuning in, you're listening to Emerge. I'm Tiffany Boyle with co-host Shayna Kemp Garnett. And we just heard the amazing stories of Clarence and Gemlin of Poolside Cooking, and learning about their serial entrepreneurship is what I shall call it, but really their ability to maneuver and work this self-employment market, and also help people along the way. One of the things that we talked about, if you listened before, was Team Lamb is having an event on Juneteenth. So Poolside Cooking not only markets chefs and gets people together, but you guys are also going to be at the Juneteenth event. So helping them out a little bit, giving them some support. So not only are you guys doing your stuff, but you're also helping others, which is great, bringing other people along. So can you tell us about what you'll be doing at the Juneteenth Festival and why?
Jim, you want to answer that?
Well, I know that we're going to be filming. So the Team Lamb have came to us and talked to us about coming together with filming the episode. We just did the 420-ish episode because we wanted to kind of let people know that what can actually happen right here in the 757, especially in Portsmouth. So we wanted to film that episode to let people know that these are all the artists that came down, how everybody came together, the community. And we kind of want to do the same thing with the Juneteenth. We want to be able to capture features of what goes on Juneteenth, what it represents, what it's about, the people that's there, the community coming together. So our main thing was to film the episode and put it out there for the world to see how we do in the 757 for Juneteenth.
Right.
Nice.
Drop the mic. Come on, Jimmy, drop the mic. She said how we do in the 757. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Right.
I can't wait.
Well, Emerge will be there for at least their emerging artist portion of it. So we're also gonna support. Thank you. So let's get back to the business aspect of Poolside Cooking. So you guys have this idea, you're coming together. What were kind of like the steps to get to where you are now?
Believing.
Because none of us produce. None of us. So, it was a little challenge there, but it was a challenge that can be done. So again, like I said, and I just kind of go back to the mindset of me opening my businesses. It was not something that I didn't feel that can't be done. When we decided to go into to start a cooking show, it started off with a vision. So, it's a God movement because, for one, like I said, this was not something that was in our field, never produced, didn't even know how far the show was going to go. So everybody that came in place, from the people that's on the show to, everybody that worked in the team, that was just a God movement. Like, we moved because everybody was able to come together and make it happen. So this wasn't a one-person show. This show became what it is today and where it's getting ready to go to because of teamwork, like us coming together and just making it happen. I mean, it took a lot, of course, it's going to be money involved, but it took determination of making things happen because all of us was running multiple businesses. So it took the dedication of making sure that we had the time to do it, making sure that the people that we had in place was able to be there, bringing the guests, the chefs, coming up with the different concepts of what the show was going to be about that week. All that was, like I said, it was a God movement. I mean, we literally filmed just about every week for almost 2 years. We filmed over 90 episodes in less than 2 years. So that was some dedication involved. Like, this is literally took the time to put everything to the side of what we was doing and make this happen every week.
Yes, we're in going into our fifth season. And you might want to add that we've had Congresswoman Elaine Loria, who cooked on the show. We've had Governor Glenn Youngkin on the show. Several appointed and elected officials in different cities, such as Sabrina Wooten, Mike Bellucci, Aaron Rouse in Virginia Beach area. So we've made a little mark in this area, and hopefully have the Commissioner of Revenue and City of Newport News.
Yes.
Tiffany Boyle on soon.
We want to see Tiffany cook.
We did not want to see Tiffany cook.
And you get to push me in the pool. That's what everybody does at the end of the show. Gayleen pushed me in the pool. We had Gayleen on. She pushed me in the pool.
Too funny. Too funny.
So it's a lot of fun.
Let me just say, I understand that y'all said it's so impressive. 90 episodes in that amount of time. I know with Tiffany and us, filming and doing the things we do, it's like, we got our phones out. Well, what you doing this day? Okay, well, that day doesn't work. Well, what about this time? So that is so impressive, being able to do that many episodes in that amount of time. That's a lot of work.
By God's grace. Only by God's grace.
Right. And positioned, we all knew where, what we had to do. Like, we all stayed in our lane. Like, I knew what I was good at. And Clarence knew where he was good at. When we put people in place, it was like, let's let them do what they do and stay in our lane. So I think it just kind of ran smoothly simply because of that, and it was fun. Like, you got to remember, when we're running businesses or whatever we get into, like, make it fun.
Right.
Yes, that's very important.
The same, like, the attitude plays a big part when we're coming together and we're putting these shows in place, because, just like I tell everybody, the same attitude you had when you was excited about getting that business license, or getting that business in place and getting that building, is the same attitude you need to have when things go wrong. And things do go. Things happen. The chef might have canceled on us at the last minute, but we always come together and figure out how we're going to make it happen. The reason why Claire to cook this last Saturday was because the chef literally called 2 hours before we had to air to say he couldn't make it.
No.
Yeah.
And figure
so we had to be creative.
Let our listeners know where and when they can watch Poolside Cooking, and all of your information if they have more questions or if they want to follow you all.
I'll take that one. Okay, so we're on Instagram, Poolside Cooking TV, or we're on Facebook, Poolside Cooking TV Show, or Poolside Cooking. You can visit our website at poolsidecooking.com. And you can download our app, and takes you right to the Global Vision Network on Roku, and you can watch all of the different shows on top of Poolside Cooking. We have Girlfriends still on there. We have Our Smooth Club with Arrington Gavin, Sabrina Brown. We've got movies on there. We've got Fisher Didi Chake. We've got a music video channel that I hope, if Pharrell's listening right now, that he's going to allow us to call it Something in the Water music channel. And right now it's called the Cyber Stage. But we have all kinds of talent on there from all over the place, emphasizing the 757 talent. And you can reach us at 757-390-4617. That's 757-390-4617 is our office phone number and the studio phone number.
All right, Pharrell, if you're listening, Something in the Water music channel.
Yes. Yes.
And if they're locally Virginia, they can actually go to WGNT 27 to watch it every Sunday at 10 a.m. If they're in Atlanta, they can watch it on Peachtree TV on Mondays at 11 a.m. If they're in Richmond, they can watch it on CW Richmond on Sundays at 12 noon. And then they can always go to Roku worldwide. And if they got Roku, to pull up Global Vision Network to pull up Poolside Cooking.
Or just type in Poolside Cooking.
All right.
And add the channel. Join the other 3.9 million people that added the channel.
Who have added the channel. Add the channel,
yes,
everybody.
Yes,
that is
ma'am.
your one task while listening to this show is to add the channel on Roku. Well, if you are just tuning in, this is Emerge, and I'm Tiffany Boyle with your co-host, Shayna Kemp Garnett. And we are just wrapping up with Clarence and Gemelin. And we get to hear their beautiful answers, because I already know they're going to be amazing, of what does the word emerge mean to you? Now, I'll let you guys decide who goes first. No pressure.
Go ahead, Gemelin.
I can go first. Execute, empower, coming together, making it happen. All those words.
Yes.
And I mirror what Gemelin just said. However, I'll use this show right here with bringing us on here as a emerging technique, because we just emerge with you guys. And that's what it's all about in business, is building relationships. Mm-hmm. So emerge to me has a lot to do with building relationships and emerging with other creatives to come up with big concepts and ideas.
That is true. One big network.
Yes.
Collaboration over competition is what another business owner, he's actually a contributing writer for Emerge. He always says that, so it sticks with me.
Wow. That's awesome.
All right. Yes, well, we want to thank you guys so much for just
having us
about yourself and what you guys are doing. And we look forward to more poolside cooking.
All right. Thank you. We look forward to more Emerge.
I am Shayna Kemp Garnett, and it's time for my 2 cents. So for the past few weeks, we've talked about various topics ranging from financial fitness to the importance of giving back as business owners and entrepreneurs. Today, I want to take a step back, and I want us to talk about Juneteenth and the relevance it has to many of our listeners. In recent years, it seems as if Juneteenth has really grown in popularity. I see a lot of big businesses capitalizing on this holiday. I'm not going to mention businesses by name, but I've seen certain types of snacks, desserts, food, clothing, just different items really just geared towards Juneteenth. And while a lot of people think about making money on this particular holiday, for me, when I think of Juneteenth, not only is it a celebration of freedom of Black Americans, but it's also a time for me to reflect on how fortunate I am to be on this journey as a business owner. One of the things I recognize is that many before me did not have that opportunity, and how what I'm able to accomplish is going to make it so much easier for those coming after me. So this is what I want you all to think about. This is what I want you to reflect on as you're going out, you're celebrating Juneteenth, you're gathering with your family and friends, or if you're just going to some events. No matter where you are on your journey, recognize the opportunity you have can make a huge impact. Your business may be exactly what's needed to break barriers, generational curses, and close wealth gaps in your family or your community. I'm Shayna Kemp Garnett, and that's my 2 cents. Let's take a look at some local and regional activities. Teen Lamb Inc. presents Juneteenth at the Beach on Saturday, June 18th from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. at 24th Street and Atlantic Avenue in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Visit JuneteenthVB.com for more information. Ladies Around the Globe is hosting LAG 757 Brunch, a rooftop brunch on Saturday, June 25th at noon at Monroe Rooftop in Hampton, Virginia. For more information, visit www.ladiesaroundtheglobe.com. The Emerge Awards and Premiere, the Musty 10 event of the year. Emerge presents a 3-day event all about entrepreneurs starting on Sunday, October 16th through Tuesday, October 18th. For more information about these events, visit www.emergepremiere.com. Thank you to our guests. If you missed out on some of today's show or to listen to previous episodes, visit www.emergethemagazine.com.